Is there a hidden pattern in history? A kind of mathematical sequence that has brought down not one, not two, but three global superpowers? A script that ends in absolute ruin every single time? And if there is the United States next on the list?
Well, the historical record isn't just sending a warning. According to this model, it's screaming one. The United States is following the exact same script, stage by painful stage, that led to the collapse of the Spanish Empire, the British Empire, and the Soviet Union. We're not just approaching the pattern, we are deep inside of it.
To really understand how this pattern works and what it can mean for you, go ahead and like, share, and subscribe to the Global Finance Archive channel. You're going to want to see this.
Okay, let's get right into it. The model breaks down the fall of an empire into a clear 7-stage pattern. It starts with military overextension, then currency debasement, which leads to a debt spiral, then a loss of productive capacity, social decay, the loss of reserve currency status, and, well, the final stage is total collapse. Now, before we dig in, just a quick heads up. This AI-generated video is for educational and entertainment purposes only. This is not financial or political advice. All these historical comparisons are theoretical, so please do your own research.
So, our first blueprint is the Spanish Empire. I want you to picture the 1500s. Spain was without a doubt the richest and most powerful empire on the planet. After conquering the Americas, they literally controlled the world's supply of gold and silver. Their currency was the global standard. In their minds, they were completely invincible. But of course, that feeling was just an illusion. Under King Philip II, Spain kicked off Stage 1, military overextension. By the year 1580, they were fighting wars on 4 different continents, all at the same time. The cost was so mind-boggling, so staggering, that it pushed them right into the next stage of this predictable pattern.
Exactly. And this is where things get really bad. Stage 2, currency debasement. To pay for all those endless wars, Spain started secretly mixing cheap copper into its pure silver coins. You know, first it was just a little bit, then it became a lot. The coin might have said it was worth the same, but the actual value, it plummeted. Merchants stopped taking them, and bam, massive runaway inflation just exploded across the entire empire.
And that runaway inflation was really just a symptom of Stage 3, the debt spiral. Spain started borrowing money like there was no tomorrow, just to stay afloat. And get this, in just 40 years, the crown declared bankruptcy 4 separate times. 4! Each time they'd promised to reform, and each time they went right back to the same old habits of borrowing and spending.
All right, let's fast forward about 300 years to our next case study. The British Empire is at its absolute peak. It controlled a quarter of the world's land. The pound sterling was the global reserve currency, no questions asked. London was the undisputed financial capital of the world.
But guess what? They followed the exact same pattern. The crushing debt from 2 world wars, that's their Stage 1, military overextension. And it led directly to Stage 2, currency debasement, because they were forced to abandon the gold standard to pay for it all. The result? A total currency collapse. In 1940, a single British pound was worth $4.03. Today, it's worth about $1.27. The world's reserve currency basically became a regional one.
And this brings us to our final historical blueprint, the Soviet Union. For the 45 years after World War II, the USSR was a massive nuclear superpower. They matched the United States military for military and were locked in this great ideological struggle. They truly believed that communism was the future of humanity.
But the collapse, it happened so fast, it was shocking. It took just 900 days. 900 days from the fall of the Berlin Wall for the entire Soviet Union to just cease to exist. And it wasn't destroyed by a foreign army, it was a complete economic implosion from within. Their military spending was totally unsustainable, that's Stage 1, and their currency, the ruble, became worthless, Stage 2. The pattern held perfectly.
So, we've seen this pattern play out 3 times: Spain, Britain, the Soviet Union. And this is the part of the analysis where things turn to today. According to this model, the United States has already, right now, completed the first 5 stages of this collapse pattern.
Let's just break it down step by step. Stage 1, military overextension. The United States maintains over 750 military bases in 80 countries. Our defense budget is $850 billion. That's more than the next 10 countries combined. We are stretched incredibly thin, just like every empire before us.
So for Stage 1, that is a definite check.
And that, of course, leads right into Stage 2, currency debasement. In 1971, the United States dollar was taken completely off the gold standard.
Since just 2020 alone, over $6 trillion have been printed out of thin air. The dollar has now lost 98% of its purchasing power. See, we're not mixing copper into silver coins, we're just creating currency with a keyboard.
So for stage 2, another clear check. Which takes us directly to stage 3, the debt spiral. The United States national debt is now $36 trillion. We are literally borrowing new money just to pay the interest on the money we've already borrowed. The interest payments alone are rocketing towards $1 trillion a year. That's more than we spend on our entire national defense.
And that is a check for stage 3.
And that brings us to stage 4, the loss of productive capacity. America, today, designs, it finances, and it consumes, but it doesn't produce things the way it used to. Our manufacturing base was shipped overseas. With an annual trade deficit of over $800 billion, we have become completely dependent on foreign supply chains. Sound familiar? It's just like Spain became dependent on imports.
Stage 4 is complete. Check.
So that brings us right to this moment. Stage 5, social decay. When you look at the declining trust in our institutions, rising crime rates, and the constant political gridlock, the signs are all around us. So according to this historical model, the United States has now completed 5 of the 7 stages. If you want to see where this pattern leads next and what it means for the market, make sure you like, share, and subscribe to the Global Finance Archive channel.
So this brings us to the unwritten chapters. If the historical pattern holds true, the next 2 stages are Stage 6, the loss of reserve currency status, which is then followed by Stage 7, total collapse. So what does that actually mean in the real world?
It means everything. Reserve currency status is the ultimate economic superpower. It means the entire world needs your currency to do business. But we're seeing the early signs of this power eroding. The BRICS nations, that's Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, they're actively developing alternatives. Central banks are buying physical gold instead of United States dollars, and major trade partners are starting to sell oil for other currencies. The cracks in the foundation are definitely forming.
And that's really the final, most crucial point of this entire model. The pattern isn't emotional, it isn't political, it's mathematical. An empire simply cannot spend beyond its means forever. It cannot maintain a global military presence without a strong, productive economy at home. And it cannot debase its currency without facing severe consequences.
You know, every single fallen empire in history believed it was different, that the rules of economics and history just didn't apply to them. But as the source material for this analysis concludes, the pattern doesn't care about exceptionalism. The sequence is locked in. The only question is timing. History suggests that when the end does come, it isn't slow and gradual. It's sudden.
History is unfolding right before our eyes. To stay informed on these critical developments and to understand their real impact on the currency market, make sure you like, share, and subscribe to the Global Finance Archive channel.